1972, an idea was born to create a Nobel Prize for public service. After more than 4 decades, the Jefferson Awards have become the gold standard in recognizing extraordinary volunteers. Volunteers who go above and beyond to make Central Indiana a better place to live.
It's just very meaningful, helping children and families in need.
You get so much more than you give.
I'd like to think that the sky's the limit.
I couldn't see myself anywhere else but here serving people.
Tonight, RTV6 and Citizens Energy Group honor these outstanding public servants as recipients of the 2013 Jefferson Awards.
Good evening, I'm Todd Connor.
I'm Erica Fly. Welcome to the 2013 Jefferson Awards as we honor those who give of themselves to help others.
Tonight, we're excited to share the stories of Hoosiers who are truly making a difference in our community.
They hail from all over Central Indiana, but recently they came together for a special reception at the Indiana Landmark Center.
Welcome. My name is Larry Blackerby. I'm Vice President and General Manager of RTV6, HTSN, and the IndyChannel.com. Thank you all so much for coming to our second annual Jefferson Awards reception. Is this place lovely or what? Tonight we are recognizing some of the unsung heroes in Central Indiana. RTV6 has told each of their stories of our recipients over the last year during our newscast and then on the IndyChannel.com. Every story of our winners are unique, but the one thing that they have in common is that they're all very inspirational. So, you know, it doesn't matter how long you've lived in Indianapolis, it doesn't take you long to figure out that Citizens Energy is a company that's committed to this community and committed to volunteerism. For the second consecutive year, they've been our partner in sponsoring the Jefferson Awards.
Citizens Energy Group is so delighted to join with RTV6 and other community partners in celebrating volunteerism, because really at the core of making Indianapolis great is the heart and spirit of volunteerism. Citizens Energy Group's employees have been involved in the community in so many ways. Each year for the past 6 years, we've celebrated one of those volunteers as a Jefferson Award winner. Our volunteers have done so much. I mean, whether it's the Girl Scouts or mentoring opportunities or softball, you name it, and you'll see a Citizens Energy Group volunteer there. The Jefferson Awards have certainly given us a great framework to celebrate volunteerism. When we call an employee down or when RTV6 recognizes a volunteer, when we put that Jefferson stamp on it, hey, that really means something.
Our first Jefferson Award recipient is Gary Strader, a man who goes above and beyond to show troops and their families support. He does it all in memory of his son, who made the ultimate sacrifice. America, America, God shed his grace on thee. At this Memorial Day ceremony at Crown Hill Cemetery, Gary Strader sat among proud citizens and mourning families.
When they first have the first Memorial Day after the loss of a loved one, you'll find them at these kind of places, and I love the opportunity to connect with them.
He knows their pain. In 2004, Gary's 23-year-old son, Morgan, was shot and killed in a firefight with insurgents on his second tour of duty in Iraq.
And he had been ready to get out of the Marines, but he heard that his unit was returning, so he said, I've got to go back with them. Gave his life for his country and his comrades, and we're very proud of him for that.
Gary vowed to show other troops they are appreciated. It's what Morgan would have wanted.
One of the things he asked me every time he called me was, what do the people back there in Indiana think of what we're doing, Dad? What do they think of us?
Gary joined a military support group and got to work. He sends out care packages filled with cards and comforts of home.
We just did a packing of Girl Scout cookies because everybody loves Girl Scout cookies.
And sends small decorated trees to bring smiles around the holidays.
How proud you were of them and their service.
Gary visits families all over Central Indiana dealing with the loss of a soldier. He says it was that kind of personal attention after his son's death that helped his healing.
I know they don't remember my name, but I promise you they do remember that somebody came up to them, somebody hugged them, somebody said, "We're with you, we're praying for you, we love you, and we appreciate your sacrifice." I know that they remember those things.
He goes above and beyond to let the troops know they are not forgotten. Gary, congratulations on receiving the Jefferson Award. At the Memorial Day ceremony,
Are you a veteran?
Gary passed out a special coin.
I designed and had produced this prayer coin that I could carry in my pocket. So anytime I reached in my pocket, I would feel that, and I would remember, I need to pray for these guys, and I would pray for them.
Gary has a mission, and he's fulfilling his duty.
And that's what we are here to accomplish, is to help them understand. Let them know without a shadow of a doubt that we love them and we support them and we want the best for them.
Next, we want to introduce you to a woman everyone knows as Pastor Langston. Though she doesn't have any formal religious training, many believe she's a saint for what she does. On Sundays, the message at Shepherd's Pathway on the city's southeast side is that of hope and optimism and, of course, following the Word of God.
Amen.
The congregation, a mixture of people who found themselves homeless, now call this sanctuary and the rest of this building home.
I was getting high one morning in my truck, and I just started crying, and I was like, Lord, just help me.
That was nearly 3 years ago, and now Carolyn White is well on the road to a new life. White lives in a room of this former nursing home that currently houses more than 80 men, women, and children, all of them trying to overcome obstacles. And they're all here because of one woman, Pastor Rhonda Langston.
This woman has taken me in. I don't have a job. This is our home. She has made her home our home.
You want to turn some lights on back here?
Since 1966, Pastor Langston has taken people into her home who are down on their luck or just down and out.
All right.
She's lived that life and knows what it takes to get back on your feet.
I was homeless once. I was homeless and on the streets with my 2 children. And I told God if he could put my life together, that I would serve him.
In 2004, she started serving God from this former nursing home. She almost lost it to the bank, but thanks to some donations, is back on sound financial footing, for now, doing what she does best.
I couldn't tell you what I would be doing if I wasn't here, because I couldn't see myself anywhere else. But here, serving people.
And because of her helping hand and warm heart, we served her with a special honor. Pastor Langston, we'd like to honor you with the Jefferson Award for all of the good things you've done for all the people here.
Thank you.
Like Carolyn, everyone here has a story of how Pastor Langston helped them, and for that, they rejoice that God brought her into their lives, because without her,
Some of us would be dead. Some of us would be still out on the streets doing drugs.
She's done what is required to change.
she says you helped save her life.
God helped save their life.
Coming up,
I've always wanted to help people, always.
meet a local woman who quit her job to start a mission of giving to Hoosiers in need when the Jefferson Awards continue on RTV6.
Welcome back to the Jefferson Awards on RTV6. I'm Jenna Coy. In August, I met a man who found a new way to feed hungry Hoosiers. He's serving up the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
No, I was 40 years old and never mentioned taking food to anybody in my entire life.
But when John Williamson's wife mentioned Freegans to him, his life was about to change. This Noblesville husband and father of 3 couldn't believe his ears, learning about the group of people who are not homeless, but who get their food for free out of trash cans.
And I thought to myself, are you kidding me?
Williamson said he thought there had to be a better use for all that food thrown in the trash, and he found it. In 2007, he founded Food Rescue, taking surplus food from restaurants and delivering it to food pantries. He said one Panera Bread in Noblesville was the first business to donate its extra food once a week.
And suddenly that turned into twice a week and 3 times a week. And before we knew it, we were picking up at several different places around the city.
Congratulations, John Williamson. You are our Jefferson Award winner.
he's just a good person. He has something in his heart that has made him do this.
Robin Jasone is one of the Little Caesars franchise owners who soon jumped on board the food rescue program.
It's only good for a certain period of time, and if we don't sell that product, it goes in the trash. And so it kind of makes you sick after a while when you see what you're throwing away.
We live in the richest county around, and we have 150 families that come in each Thursday to get food. So when we can hand a whole pizza to a mom that's going to feed her family that night, it is just, it's hard to explain how you feel.
Working out of a corner of his master bedroom, Williamson grew food rescue to include more cities, more businesses, more people in need, and more volunteers who donate their time picking up surplus food and delivering it to more food pantries.
And within a very short period of time, we were picking up $1 million of retail food, and to date, we've picked up $10 million in retail food.
He says that includes more than 100,000 Little Caesars pizzas a year.
You don't really understand the impact until you see the benefit, till you see a little kid say, "Mom, I'm full."
It's just very meaningful that I get to every day wake up and work on helping children and families in need using surplus food.
What started as a simple desire for change has turned into a full-time job and passion. And John now hopes other food companies will help him turn their trash into nourishing treasure.
No, I've always said this is kind of like a kite with a gale-forced wind behind it, and I've just got a hold of it, taking it wherever it takes me.
In September, we met Sally Schrock, a Jefferson Award winner determined to recycle useful items. Her work gives Hoosiers a boost on their way to independence.
So everything in this van is for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you got a lot of stuff.
So.
Need that comforter, too.
William has a lot of needs to make his Indianapolis apartment feel like home.
Just take it on inside.
And Sally Schrock is helping him fill them.
I've always wanted to help people, always.
Sally founded Second Starts.
Glasses, mugs, bowls, pitchers.
An organization providing housewares to families who've been homeless for a variety of reasons and are ready for a second start at independent living.
I knew I would always get donations. I know there's so many people who have extra things that I would always get those in, and I would always find a family to give it to. And then over here we have the basic silverware and other utensils, measuring cups and spoons.
She uses space at a church to store all the items like bed sheets, dishcloths, and hangers. She works through agency referrals, gets a person's list of requests, boxes it, and delivers. Sally and her volunteers average about 20 deliveries a week to 1,200 Hoosiers a year. And it's this work she truly enjoys.
10 years ago, I was working at a job that I wasn't finding fulfilling.
So Sally quit her job back then and started this one where she doesn't even earn a paycheck. She's on a mission of giving.
Just things that we take for granted, that these people are thrilled when I walk in the door with anything.
Sally, congratulations on receiving the Jefferson Award.
Thank you. When you walk into someone's home and they can't say thank you because they're crying, they're overjoyed. They're thrilled with the new mop and broom. They're thrilled with the folding chair you could take them. I knew from the beginning it was the right thing to do.
And everything that was on my list, comforter, lamp, broom, shower curtains, pots, pans, they gave me the works.
It's Sally's work that's helping others get a second start.
All right, William. Well, good luck to you.
Hey, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I sure appreciate it.
Still ahead, we'll meet a couple who's found a way to stay in tune with their community. See how they use the power of music to get toes tapping and to lift spirits. Next on the Jefferson Awards.
Our next Jefferson Award recipients give back to their community through their love of music. They prove that a simple, familiar tune can bring smiles and lift spirits.
This is my Sounds of Loretta Lynn room.
Charlene Hutchins is no doubt one of the country's biggest Loretta Lynn fans and has been for as long as she can remember. And in the past decade, she's paired her passion for the country star's music with her passion to serve others, especially the elderly.
She's been coming to our facility now for 10 years. And like I said, 90% of our residents love country music, so they love Loretta Lynn. and they just get a piece of Loretta Lynn here, and that's wonderful for the residents.
Charlene and her husband George have performed their Sounds of Loretta Lynn show more than 1,000 times at more than 100 different venues like the Hickory Creek Nursing Home in Peru. Currently, they volunteer their services 8 or 9 times a month.
He does all the driving, he does all the computer work, he does all the photography. He makes sure I'm buttoned up, zipped up, got my shoes on the right feet.
And they both get the residents' toes tapping and minds moving, something that brings a smile to everyone.
Every time I get a chance, I like to see her.
What's it mean to you when you have visitors come down here like that?
Oh, it just makes me feel good just come in here.
Making the residents feel good and giving them something to look forward to. That's what keeps this couple going. George and Charlene, for all the great work that you guys do as part of your show and giving back to the community, congratulations on the Jefferson Award.
Thank you.
Giving back to the community is something the Hutchins plan to keep doing for as long as they can, and they encourage others to get out to a local retirement home.
Take a walk down the hall. Give someone a hug or a handshake. You'll be amazed how much it'll do for them and for you.
Our next Jefferson Award winner is a young man who created an all-digital tool to help people in need across the globe. He has many answers to the question, what does never settle mean?
That could be a complicated sort of answer.
For 22-year-old Jeremy Pittman, the phrase never settle is full of meaning. It was first a message his father preached before his death from cancer in 2006.
The status quo as it is now isn't how it has to be. You can do something about it. I can, and so can you, and so can everybody.
It's now a message Jeremy turned into a nonprofit called Never Settle.
We're a fundraising group, first and foremost. We work through implementing partners, and we've worked really, really hard to pick out and deal and partner with some of the best nonprofits.
While a senior at Purdue last year, Jeremy officially started this completely digital nonprofit. With his laptop and a team of Never Settle believers, Jeremy says his organization has helped provide about 150 school uniforms to Haitian orphans, disaster relief here in the United States, and that's not all.
We funded enough to provide 2,000 children in Cambodia with clean, safe drinking water, as well as sanitation programs, as well as parts and maintenance for their purification systems for 10 years.
Just really wants to change the world, and you don't find a lot of people who say that, but then also do it. And I think that's what I love the most about him, is that he put his mind to it, and he's doing it.
Congratulations, Jeremy Pittman. You are our Jefferson Award winner.
Thank you.
Never Settle essentially helps raise money to give other charities or nonprofits who do the hands-on work to make change. Jeremy says he envisions Never Settle expanding to include hundreds of causes.
The people that we service are real people. They have hopes, they have dreams, they have talents and skills, but opportunity is not equal for them. And so we want to change that.
Jeremy's mom helps run Never Settle. She says her late husband would be proud of the new meaning of his phrase.
So now looking down on Jeremy, oh my goodness, I know he's in those grandstands cheering him on. He always referred to life being like a race, and I know that he's passed that baton on to Jeremy now.
As his dad looks down on him from above, it's fitting Jeremy's future meaning for Never Settle extends upward.
I'd like to think that the sky's the limit.
In Indianapolis, Jenna Coy, RTV6.
Coming up next,
I love his whole idea about supporting those who are sick.
how this local physician took a simple idea worldwide to lift the spirits of thousands of children who are hospitalized, and the special recognition he's receiving. The Jefferson Awards will return in a moment on RTV6.
In December, we recognized Grant Thompson, a man who honors the spirit and sacrifice of World War II veterans with a flight to see a lasting tribute. A hero's welcome home at Stout Field in Indianapolis for these World War II veterans.
I'm surprised about this. My whole family's over here.
They just returned from the trip of a lifetime. Tell me about your experience in Washington.
It was fantastic. Got to see all the monuments.
They saw a symbolic space dedicated to their service to their country, the National World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. And Grant Thompson made the sentimental journey happen.
It's a small way of honoring that generation, saying thank you to the men and women that saved the world, literally.
Grant is the director of the Indy Honor Flight, a program that flies World War II veterans free of charge on a chartered flight to D.C. to see the World War II Memorial, which opened in 2004, more than 60 years after the war.
Well, my grandfather was a Marine who fought at Iwo Jima. He got a Purple Heart in Iwo Jima. And he passed before the memorial was ever finished. I would have loved to taken him, but I did the next best thing. I took another family member, one of my wife's great uncles.
Seeing the memorial had such a powerful impact on Grant, he wanted to give as many World War II vets as possible the chance to view it. The National Honor Flight Network didn't have a hub in Indy at the time, so Grant volunteered to begin one. The very first flight from Indy, September 10th, took 80 vets and their guardians on the one-day trip. When they landed in D.C., they boarded a bus monument-bound.
One of the most dramatic parts of the day is when that bus turns that last corner and into view comes the World War II Memorial for the first time. And they look out the window and you get these 90-year-old men and women acting like, first graders on a field trip, and they're all pressing up against the glass trying to see their memorial for the very first time, and it's just so rewarding to see that.
And some of those same veterans were so grateful for the opportunity Grant provided, they gathered to see him rewarded for his efforts. Grant, congratulations on receiving the Jefferson Award.
Thank you. To be a fly on the wall and listen to the conversations that they'll have.
At the memorial site, memories rush back.
When you hear a Marine that was serving on Iwo Jima talking to a Navy guy that was shelling that island, softening up the Japanese before the invasion, and the conversations that they'll have is just incredible.
Emotions are overwhelming.
Many of them have lost a brother, someone in the family, or they've all lost friends.
Honoring vets with the Indy Honor Flight, Grant's planned the next trip for this spring.
Being able to bring nearly 80 other World War II veterans out there, I think Grandpa would have been proud of that.
Each year, one local recipient of the Jefferson Award is selected to represent Indiana in Washington, D.C. at the National Jefferson Awards. This year's winner, Dr. Steve Eisenberg. He's offering a different type of medicine to those who are in a race to get healthy.
Hi, how are you? I'm Dr. Eisenberg. I came to give you a present today, a medal.
Since 2005, Dr. Steve Eisenberg has presented medals, some of them from the many marathons he's run, to those who are in a different type of race. It all started when he visited a friend in the hospital shortly after he ran the Chicago Marathon.
I didn't know what else to say to him, and I pulled my medal out of my pocket and gave it to him. And he lit up.
It was after that visit that Dr. Eisenberg came up with the idea for Medals for Medal. Medal as in courage. It's a simple concept with a powerful payoff. Marathoners donate their race medals to the organization, and then volunteers clean and polish them and put on new ribbons.
Dr. Eisenberg is an amazing guy, and I love his whole idea about supporting those who are sick.
The medals end up around the necks of deserving patients like Reese.
You giggle a lot?
Yeah.
In the last 7 years, Dr. Eisenberg's organization has given out 25,000 medals to mostly pediatric patients. Many of them are given to patients at Riley Hospital for Children here in Indianapolis.
There's a lot of people out there that respect the courage it takes to deal with problems like this in your life. Not only for the kids here, but for their families.
Oh, look at you. You're a winner.
Sally Powell is one of those people. She's also the Indianapolis coordinator for Medals for Medal.
We go to hospitals, we take our medals out to the kids, we work our marathons, and he's just an awesome person to lead us.
Kelly Williams was the first to volunteer to help Dr. Eisenberg and Medals for Medal.
Nobody can say no to somebody that's that giving and caring, so it's been a wonderful experience.
Right here?
Dr. Eisenberg's all-volunteer charity has 60 chapters around the United States, as well as several others around the world in places like Canada, South Korea, London, and Paris. Dr. Eisenberg, for all the great work you do with Medals for Medal and all the children's lives you touch, we wanted to give you another medal to add to your collection, and this is for all the great work that you've done for all the people out there, and we appreciate your volunteering and giving back to the community.
Say medals.
As it stands now, the finish line is nowhere in sight for the Medals for Medal Marathon. Dr. Eisenberg and his volunteers continue to hand out medals and look for more opportunities to collect new ones, knowing that the need will never go away.
It's just been an endless feeling of feeling great.
After hearing Dr. Eisenberg's story, Jefferson Awards founder Sam Beard was so inspired he wanted to award a medal as well. The team met at Riley Hospital for Children and got to know a few very brave kids.
Our media partners uncover extraordinary stories. So here's Steve Eisenberg, and he probably works an 80-hour week as a surgeon, and then he didn't have enough to do. And they've now distributed 30,000 of those medals to kids. And it's just the power of an idea. So we had the privilege this morning of going over, and here was this young child, and this kid's a fighter, so presented a marathon medal to the child, and I had the privilege of presenting a Jefferson Award medal to the mother for her courage, because it's really a family effort. And of course, tears all around. It's a beautiful moment. The joy of helping somebody else is, I think, basically divine. And there's some connection between giving back and helping somebody else and a sense of participation in something which is much larger than ourselves. And so it's a responsibility, but also generates a tremendous joy. So what I would say to anybody who's not participating, why are you missing out on the joy?
Still ahead, she's a personal shopper with a very big heart. See how this woman helps local students in need when the Jefferson Awards continue on RTV6.
Welcome back to the Jefferson Awards on RTV6 as we honor Hoosiers making a difference. Our next recipient is Connie Pollum, who helps kids gear up for school. She does it all with enthusiasm and a very big heart.
Hey, Christina, now you can pick anything along here.
For about 300 local kids in need, this day is special. They get a personal shopper to help them pick out a duffel bag and fill it with school supplies, personal hygiene items, a warm winter coat, clothes, school uniforms, and books.
You cannot believe how much they appreciate this. For instance, the duffel bags, some of the children say they use them as their dressers.
Connie Pollum makes this special day possible. She's the driving force behind the program called Operation School Bell. This is the first year kids get this special opportunity twice in 1 year.
They're just so thankful and so sweet, and it's their personal day just for them.
Her tireless effort really gets all of what is seen here done.
Congratulations, Connie Pollum. You are our Jefferson Award winner.
Thank you very much.
10 years ago, 92-year-old Connie Schuster got Connie involved in the Assistance League of Indianapolis, an all-volunteer organization that runs Operation School Bell.
She said, I've quit working. I'm ready to volunteer.
The Assistant League also gives survival kits to assault victims, teddy bears to people in need, and shoes to low-income children. As Vice President of Philanthropic Programs for the Assistance League, Connie oversees it all. That would be enough to get noticed, but it's how Connie does it that truly defines her.
Her disposition's great. Her enthusiasm's great. And her husband stands by her. His enthusiasm is great.
In fact, I can't tell you how many times I have heard Connie go to people, first words out of her mouth, what can I do to help you?
Her enthusiasm, her motivation, her excitement for the children of Indianapolis, it's infectious.
And the smiles on these children are proof of that. Connie helps make them feel special when so much in their lives doesn't.
It's not just about clothes, it's about the friendship. It's about the hugs, it's about the support, and that's what Connie offers.
It's been the most fascinating experience. You get so much more than you give.
In March, we presented the Jefferson Award to a man on a mission to ease the final challenges of Hoosier veterans. He does it by granting wishes, one hero at a time. Louis, a World War II veteran, loved his new lift chair. Don, an Army vet, posed by his new fishing boat. Frank was all smiles at Wrigley Field as the veteran enjoyed a Chicago Cubs baseball game.
It shows them that they're not forgotten.
David Hall makes the wishes of disabled and terminally ill Hoosier veterans come true.
Well, every time we grant a wish, it's Veterans Day. I mean, it's a gratitude that we'd like to show them that we appreciate their service.
David, who served in the National Guard, is spreading the word about the organization he founded in 2010, the Disabled Veterans Wish Foundation.
That's where we come in. We provide that stuff.
On this day, in this small meeting room, he has the ear of a couple of lawmakers. He showed them videos and read a letter from a wish recipient.
It was possibly the best gift that I could ever receive. You really appreciate it.
The Disabled Veterans Wish Foundation is set up much like well-known organizations that grant wishes to children. David's adult son, who suffered from kidney disease as a child, was granted a wish. So when David's friend Randy, a veteran, was diagnosed with a terminal illness, David knew a wish would lift his spirits.
Because my son got one, a wish, so I asked Randy if he would like a wish, and he thought a family and friends to get together.
A letter from Randy expressed just how much he enjoyed the party.
And it was a great feeling to me because seeing his emotions just overwhelming.
That was the first wish David granted. The applicants keep coming. Using funds from donations, David keeps granting wishes. David, congratulations on receiving the Jefferson Award.
Thank you. I mean, I get big hugs from, I see tears from, you know, a 94-year-old World War II veteran that received the lift chair that was donated. He had tears from his eyes. I mean, it means a lot to him.
Haskell, a World War II vet, wished for a 32-inch flat-screen color TV to replace his small black and white one. Donna Smallwood helps David fulfill wishes. She made the delivery. Haskell passed away 2 days later.
He was really happy, and although he only got to see it, watch it a couple of days, but it did make his heart grow.
David hopes to expand the Disabled Veterans Wish Foundation across the nation to make even more wishes come true.
I mean, it's really wonderful.
Coming up,
if a person makes a mistake, should he get another opportunity? Absolutely.
meet the man working hard to brighten the future for those with a troubled past. Next on the Jefferson Awards.
Welcome back. In April, I met Reverend Eugene Potter, a man who believes in redemption. He helps ex-offenders, both men and women, gain the skills they need to lead productive lives. These men all have a few things in common. For one, they have a criminal past.
I got a criminal history as big as Texas.
Two, they're trying to rebuild their lives by learning carpentry and mechanic skills that will help them stay out of the big house. And they have Reverend Eugene Potter to thank for giving them a second chance.
He offered me an opportunity, and from where I had came from and where I don't want to be any longer, it was like, you know, I put it on the scale and it was like, this is a no-brainer.
Reverend Potter returned home to Indianapolis to start New Life Development Ministries a few years ago, modeled after his program in Baltimore. His organization is all about helping criminals re-enter society by giving them the tools necessary to live life within the law.
He has gone to court with them. He has taken them into his home. He has fed them. He has hugged them. He has given them the kind of hope that you don't get.
Marilyn O'Bannon volunteers for his organization and has also seen firsthand how successful his program really is because Reverend Potter helped her son.
And I say that if a person makes a mistake, should he get another opportunity? Absolutely.
Thanks to some generous donors, Reverend Potter trains his crews on old rundown homes, which eventually generate money for New Life. Their work also improves a blighted community that needs a helping hand. New Life also has its own construction company. One of the highlights of Reverend Potter's work, only a small percentage of the ex-offenders who go through his program return to jail. Much better numbers, he says, compared to the rate for the rest of the city and state.
The people that you love, sometimes they make mistakes. I think we need to find ways to show them the kind of love that Christ did, that they can come back into a society and feel like they're wanted and needed.
Reverend Potter, RTV6 would like to offer you the Jefferson Award for all of the great work you've done and giving back to the community. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Reverend Potter told me there's not a day that goes by he doesn't want to get up and go to work. This despite a cancer diagnosis a couple of years ago, which he says he's since beaten. His focus remains on helping those around him.
You know, some people just really need someone to just say, hey, you know, there is hope for the hopeless.
In May, we met Corbin Fritz, a young man who wants to be a teacher, and he's well on his way, founding a program that connects young kids with role models and everyone benefits. It's the beat of more than just a song. There's something special happening in this room at North Elementary School in Noblesville. The smiles in here tell you both the teenagers and the young kids are bonding, benefiting. They're all part of the Sparrow program, started 2 years ago by Noblesville High School junior Corbin James Fritz, or CJ as some call him.
It's a mentoring program where high school mentors go and work with not necessarily at-risk youth, but students who just need an extra role model.
Corbin started the Sparrow program at North Elementary, but quickly developed it to include 120 mentors with 110 mentees in all of Noblesville's 7 elementary schools.
For a student to take it upon himself to start something on his own with really no adults coming to him or not discussing with him on what it needs to look like was awesome.
Congratulations, Corbin Fritz. You are our Jefferson Award winner.
It's a whole different life when you're a teenager, and I think that any grown person can say that.
And that's the first key to the Sparrow program. Teens meet with their mentees twice a week on average during the school day, in the music room or art room or library, anywhere they can have a conversation.
With teenagers, though we're rough, though we're uncut, that's our advantage sometimes. We know what it's like to be a kid.
The other key is Corbin himself and his passion for teaching. He comes from a family of teachers.
Ever since I was very young, I've always wanted to be a teacher, and this was a way for me to play principal.
He's working with a mentee, and when something clicks, when a lesson is learned, or when something happens to the point where, you know, a new kind of bond has been built. And I would think it would be fair to say that he lives for that.
When that student has the urge to learn. That's why teachers teach, and that's why I do this.
RTV6 and the Jefferson Awards recognize Hoosier youth making a difference. Students in action. Carpe Diem Meridian is a public charter school on the north side of Indianapolis where 90% of students participate in community service. In the school's first year, student volunteers made a big impact, putting on a special Thanksgiving celebration and mentoring program for victims of domestic abuse, making Valentines for veterans, volunteering for RTV6 Shred Day to help prevent identity theft, and much more.
Volunteerism to my school means just being able to impact another life than your own.
Their efforts were recognized when the school was declared the winner of the Regional Students in Action competition. The group received a free trip to Washington, D.C. to attend the National Jefferson Award ceremony. They took the honor and turned it into an opportunity to perform more community service.
On our way, we stopped in Appalachia at an organization called Once Upon a Time that works with Native American reservations as well as the Appalachian population, which is another group of people that are underserved. And so we built a hiking trail, and in exchange, they opened their home to us. And for my students to have that opportunity to be at a black tie affair in Washington, D.C. is phenomenal. But they also walked away realizing what we do is great, but we can always do more and we can always give back.
It's a domino effect. You do one thing, you meet other people that have this goal. They're like, hey, we want to do this. Hey, I want to be a part of that. So all in all, just seeing all the community come together to do all these things, yes, there's a lot of momentum gained from it.
There's students every day, both young and old, so kindergarten through, clear up through college, that are already doing service, they're already volunteering. What the Jefferson Awards brings to that element is the recognition piece. It really helps embody what they're already doing in their service program.
Coming up, a final salute to our Indiana Jefferson Award winners for 2012-2013.
We've
seen them on the big screen. Let's meet them in person. And they have their medallions. They're wearing them, but we have a plaque to give them. So I'm going to call your names and come on out. Gary Strader. Rhonda Langston. John Williamson's not here tonight, and Sally Schrock is not here. But we have Loretta, or Charlene, and George Hutchins. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Jeremy Pittman. Well done. Grant Thompson. Congratulations. Connie Popham. David Hall. Thanks. Eugene Potter. Corbin Fritz. Well done. And one of the jobs that our selection committee has to do, out of all the winners, they have to choose one winner to go represent us in Washington, D.C. And that winner is Dr. Stephen Eisenberg. Thank you so much for coming, and to our recipients, thank you so much for everything you do. Thanks.
If you know a volunteer who performs extraordinary public service, nominate them for the Jefferson Award. Just visit theindychannel.com and click the Jefferson Award icon on the homepage.
Fill out a nomination form, then watch RTV6 News as we continue to recognize winners each month.
And once again, congratulations to all of our Jefferson Award recipients.
From all of us at RTV6, thanks for watching and good night.